Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Good Time Gal. I'm your host, Caitlin Peluffo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's guest is Wilfred Padua. What a dream angel this fella is. Wilfred and we did Big Sky Comedy Festival together. He's so funny. He's great. He's going to be headlining Laughs August 21st and 22nd in Seattle, which is his hometown. So if you are in or around Seattle, make sure you get out there. I mean, I'm sure they're going to do the social distance and all that jazz, so it'll be safe-ish, you know? Go see him. And you can follow him at Wilfred Padua on Instagram and Twitter. He is a delight. I love him so much. Also, while you're at it, please follow me at Caitlin Peluffo, Instagram and Twitter. The podcast at Good Time Gal Pod on Instagram. And if you could rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast, that would be great. I don't know why I said R. It's me. It's literally just me in this very hot bedroom. I mean, the flowers wilted. It's so hot. It's terribly hot. I'm sweaty. It's weird. I got this new aluminum-free deodorant. Not going great. But anywho, listen to this, enjoy it, and just be thankful you don't have to smell me. All right? Have a good week. Bye-bye. We're going to have a good time. Can you talk into this microphone, Wilfred?
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
How do you say your last name? Padua?
Yeah.
I fucking knew it. I knew it.
So many of my friends are like, what's your last name?
I knew it was Padua, but I was like, am I saying it wrong?
Yeah, everyone knows how to
That's the
spell
word.
it.
Yeah.
But they don't, but it's because we can see it on like Instagram or whatever,
Yeah.
but you don't.
And it's also like, I don't know if I've ever brought you up. Like usually if I bring someone, because I host so much, whenever I bring someone up on stage,
I don't think you've
it'll
ever
lock in forever.
Yeah, you've never hosted a show that I've been on.
So
No.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Padua, there it is.
Padua. Wilfred Padua. If you don't know, he's the guest today.
You know, actually, I did this Filipino show last week, like a Zoom show, and the host he was Filipino and pronounced it differently, and he was like, did I get it right? And I was like, I don't know. Now I'm starting to think you got it right.
How did he say it?
He put more, I don't know, there's more oomph to it. I don't remember what it
yeah?
was, but I was just like, oh, that's not how I say it.
Yeah.
But you might be right. Like, because I don't know, there's a part of me that thinks that like my family westernized it so much that like they just made it easy for everyone here.
My last name is Peluffo, and it's very Italian. And I remember one time I was out on Long Island doing a show. It was like a firehouse show, and it was pronounced Peluffo. And I was like, who are you trying to impress? Like, who is this for? And I was like, oh, la, 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 la. Like, it was so weird. I was like, Peluffo. But, you know.
It's like one of those people that say mozzarella.
Yeah, it's a mozzarella.
Yeah. It's like, shut up.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, you're at brunch. Shut
up.
We're
in the back of a firehouse, like in front of everybody who's eating Funyuns. Yeah. Like, who gives a shit?
Is it then on Staten Island?
It was Long Island.
Long Island?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like exactly where an Italian like that would try to say your name. Like
of
that.
course. And then he was just trying like, here, have you had polenta?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, yeah, I've had polenta.
Yeah.
Anyway, but and then we made out.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. We did not. There's no such thing. That definitely did not happen. I didn't know how to transition. I'm not a very good host, in case.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you know me, so. How has your quarantine been? Good?
It's been great. I've been. It's weird that it's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's supposed to be like a miserable time for everyone in America.
Yeah.
But,
people are dying. I'm having a blast.
I mean, it's nice to not have to worry about like getting booked and like and it makes you realize how much like stand up occupies your day.
Yeah.
Like the rest of your day. Like just the getting into the mental preparedness for a show or whatever.
Yeah.
So like not ever having to deal with that is nice. And I'm on unemployment and I'm doing these like moving jobs. Like I'm really what Republicans hate right now. But I'm doing these moving jobs for cash, so it doesn't affect my unemployment.
Yeah.
And I'm making the most money I've ever made.
Yeah.
Which I did the math on like how much if I did this for the entire year, like had unemployment and the moving jobs, I'd make $55,000 in a year. And
Oh
like,
my God.
the most money I've ever made is just barely middle class.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the most I've ever made was like 30 grand. And I was like, look at me go.
Yeah.
I'm killing it. And my mom was like, that's in fact very bad.
And what's crazy is that because we've talked about our student debt.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I'm never going to, like, I was talking with my friend who just like sold a TV show. And he was like,
Good
you're
for
going
them.
to, and I told him how much money, how much debt I have. He's like, yeah, you're going to have to sell 2.
Really? Oh my God, that's so painful. Later, you're gonna have to tell me who that is. Yeah, isn't that crazy? It's like even if you get like your dream job, you're still gonna owe this debt.
Yeah.
I mean, mine is triple, like
Yeah. Mine's triple digits.
Yeah.
Or 6 figures.
6 figures. Yes,
Yes,
mine
yeah.
is all. We've never seen 6 figures,
Yeah.
so we're like, how do you say it? What is 6 figures?
Yeah, I just Googled it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 6 figures. I remember going to grad school and my sister was like, "Are you ever going to be able to get out of this debt?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be an art star."
Yeah, exactly. I thought the same thing.
Oh, so
what did you?
sad.
And you went to just like school for just art.
Yeah,
right?
I went. I have an MFA from Pratt, and it's in video performance art.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Mine was in an MFA in writing for performance.
Well,
So-
that's good. That's actually usable, I feel like.
But wouldn't yours be like
No,
also
mine's
just as useful as
It's
mine?
technically called New Forms, which is very like avant-garde. Like, do you know video art?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's.
Yeah.
I was doing push-ups over a bed of nails, like stuff like that. Like it wasn't even like I learned how to edit properly.
Yeah.
I like self-taught myself how to use Final Cut, and that's it.
It's like that? What's her name? Marina Abramovich
Yes.
type shit.
Yes, exactly.
You just like look at someone for 36 hours.
That's what I did. I was like, it's endurance art. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the David Blaine of art.
Exactly. Same haircut. Black makeup. Hate myself. You know.
I went to school at the Art Institute of Chicago, and before I went there, the main thing that it was famous for was there's this girl that she did this performance art where she like had like a spoiled can of food or whatever, like it was like 10 years expired,
Yeah.
and she opened the can in this live performance,
God.
and she was wearing like a skirt, and she fingered herself with the food. That was art. That was considered art. And
I mean,
and yeah, MFA
Yeah.
students were like clapped for her afterwards.
I mean, it's, reverse botulism. It's one way to get it.
It's just so
Do you
crazy.
think it's like a drunk tampon, like it gets to your system faster?
Yeah. You're just getting all these tuna proteins.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what it is. She's just smarter than all of
Yeah.
us. That's what's happening. She's getting that protein. She's ripped now. She's like the Hulk. Oh yeah, good for you, girl.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, I think we're pretty good friends, and like we know each other well enough to know that we don't belong in MFA
No.
circles at all.
No, and what's so funny is like I did this. I got this MFA thing within the first like 6 months. I knew it wasn't
Yeah.
really for me.
Mine was 2 months in. I was like,
Yeah.
I should drop out,
Yeah,
and I stayed the whole time.
stayed the
Was
whole
it?
time.
Did you do it because was it part of the recession? That's kind of why I got.
Yeah, I
into
went right after I graduated undergrad, and I
What year
got
was
that
that?
in media arts. When was that? 2009.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was going to be tough to find a job, especially in San Diego. And I knew I wanted to get out of San Diego, so I just went right away to grad school
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, I want to keep this school thing going. I feel like I just caught my stride with my art. I
Yeah.
feel good. And then I applied actually to the Chicago Institute.
School of the Art
and
Institute.
they didn't accept me.
Oh, I didn't
got
get into prep.
rejected. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I didn't get into any New York schools.
Really?
Yeah. And then so I went to Chicago. That's where I met I met a lot of comics there, but they don't remember me because I was just like an open micer. And then I went back to Seattle and
Yeah.
actually that's where I got better.
Yeah. Yeah, I started in New York 2 years after I graduated with my MFA. No, I graduated with my MFA 2011.
Did you know you want to do comedy like the whole time you were doing?
No, I had no clue.
Like push-ups.
Yeah, I was like, I am funny. I am funny. No, I had no clue until
your audience really missed out on that visual joke.
Oh, I was doing push-ups. Okay, I was doing push-ups over a bed of nails, screaming to myself that I might believe in myself one day. Hasn't hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had no clue, and then I had a dream about it. And then I was like, oh, I might be good
like
at
an
that.
actual, you were asleep and you dreamt about doing stand-up?
I thought that I dreamt about Ellen DeGeneres, and I was Ellen DeGeneres. And she was doing stand-up, and I was like, I could do that. And I'd loved stand-up for so long.
Yeah.
I'd listened to a bunch. I watched the specials. Comedy Central half hours were like my favorite.
Yeah.
And then, but it never occurred to me that I could do that because I thought you had to be a writer.
Oh. Yeah. And then it turns out you don't have to. You don't write at all.
I don't write
you
at
just
all.
Yell.
Now, yeah, I know. Now I realize I was like, oh, now with this, you can't yell at people on Zoom all the time. So I've actually had to start really, really writing.
Yeah. Well, you've been when we did that Zoom show like back in March or April or whenever, that you had like all new tags to all your jokes, and I was like, I hadn't even thought about stand-up until tonight.
Yeah. That was probably the fear that kicked in. I was like, I got to keep writing, otherwise people are in a month when this is all over. And it's like, nope.
I think I realized this maybe yesterday, that I didn't really write for the first like 7 years of doing stand-up.
Really?
Because I never like sat down and was like, I'm going to give myself...
How long have you been doing stand-up?
9+.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
9.5 about now. But I've never like sat down. That's why I'm not good, is because I never wrote. Took me 7 years to realize, just think about the jokes. Give yourself time to think about the jokes.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. I the first time I ever did stand up, I won a class. Like I went to like this what's it called?
Did you put your like business card in a
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, improv, zip zap zop. No, I wanted to try it, but I was too chicken shit.
Yeah.
And so I found this thing online. It was a seminar about how to get started in stand-up comedy. So I went to that, and at the end of the seminar, they pulled out a name from the bucket, and that person won a free class. Oh. And that's how I started. But when I went there, I didn't realize you had to have like prepared material. So I just showed up thinking it was going to be like the seminar. It's like, you're going to learn how to hold a microphone. You're going to learn how to write a joke.
Yeah.
I thought that that's what it was going to be. And it was like, okay, now tell your jokes. And I was like, I didn't have a single joke.
Interesting.
And I went on last, and I just talked about my thighs. And I got some laughs.
Yeah.
And but mostly it was humiliating. And
I taught a class in Seattle.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's the most embarrassing thing in my career.
No, you got to make that money.
I know. Yeah, that's the thing. Is I was
cares?
I made like it was such a scam. I made like $2,000.
Really?
For like, just working 2 hours a week for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But I taught this class, and when I didn't actually. I knew that no one really wanted to be stand-ups. They just wanted to perform in front of their friends.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really like teaching them how to, like, because the work to be a stand-up happens after the class.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm getting sad. Getting all touched by this. No,
it's okay. Release your power. Okay, surrender to it. All right, surrender to the vulnerability.
Yeah, Caitlin's petting my head right
now.
Yeah,
you're doing great, Wilfred. You're doing great.
But my thought was like, I'm just gonna teach them how to be good enough for the showcase, and so. Like the hardest part about stand-up is writing the joke. Yeah. So I would just teach them how to be like natural on stage, and they give me premises, and then I'd be like, you gotta that one's got some legs, and then I'd have them email me their premises, and I'd just write the rest of their jokes.
Well, you earned your money.
Yeah,
I would say.
I mean, but it was just and then everyone did well when it came to the show, which it felt kind of nice. It was like, yeah, those are my jokes.
God, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
You make other people good at stand-up just so that you get all the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I made you.
Yep, that's my act now.
Yeah. If they get JFL, you're like, I got JFL.
I'm on Kimmel right now.
Yeah. What an odd one to pick. Of all of the late nights,
Yeah,
you're like,
I don't know why that's
no one I'm teaching is going to get better than Kimmel.
Well, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Is he even doing stand-up anymore?
No, he's stopped. Now he has a comedy club, and this doesn't matter. But yeah, he's doing it that way, I guess. But he's only done like one or two. It doesn't matter. Anyway, okay, so this is about drinking.
All right, let's start the show.
Yeah, let's start the show. Actually, yeah, because we've been to a bunch of festivals together, and I guess you haven't drank. You have like a beer here and there.
I'll sip on I'll go to like my friends and sip on their beer just to taste it.
Jesus, I'm sensing a theme with you.
Freeloading. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, so what made you not a drinker?
So
were you a drinker when you were younger?
I started like drinking, I think in high school, like senior year of high school.
Okay.
I'm Asian, so I just turned red and like I would just look very unattractive as I drank, and it didn't really matter to me. I thought like, well, I'm having fun. And you know, maybe I'll get to flirt with a lady. And then eventually I got a girlfriend, and I stopped drinking because it affects my penis pretty hard.
Really?
Pretty heavily, yeah.
How did you find that out? Just by drinking hard and having a girlfriend?
Just drinking like 2 beers and then like not having my dick work.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Just 2?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the beers don't need to be there.
I'm blaming it on the beers, but it still happens.
But it was just an added. It just added to the bad side of it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I remember going to this party with my girlfriend at the time was in like she's one of like the theater kids in my college.
Oh, very fun.
And I went to a party with all of her friends and didn't drink, and I just had like a great time. I was like, oh, I don't need to do that. I can just have a good time and like dance and be silly around drunk people.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then now I'm getting sad again.
Yeah. It's like, stop crying, you little bitch. Jesus Christ.
But now, like, prior to the lockdown, we were doing stand-up, like, every night. And I just, like, I've tried stand-up. I one time did this show where I had to, like, take a shot on stage, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do stand-up properly.
Was that at Big Sky?
No, that one I pretended to be drunk.
Oh, right. Yes.
Were you on that same show?
I didn't do the show.
You watched it, though.
I watched it.
Yeah, I pretended to be drunk at that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a show in Seattle where I had to take a shot on stage, and I was like, fuck it, I'll do it. And I just like couldn't do any bits. It felt insincere to do bits.
Did you have like a meltdown on stage?
No, I just riffed and like I don't know, I was sloppy and whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like if my system is like sober, like I'm not high or drunk, I can figure out how to get better.
Yeah.
And like pick apart what went wrong.
Yeah.
With the as you're bombing for your first few years, first 9 years.
Yeah. Do you have any vices?
I smoked where's it at? My Juul. I have a Juul.
You have a Juul?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I like to, and then, so yeah, I smoke nicotine.
Nicotine?
Tobacco.
Do you smoke regular cigarettes?
Yeah, every once in a while. I actually used last time I quit the Juul, I used regular cigarettes to quit this.
Yeah.
Because this is like so constant and every, like,
yeah.
Like every moment of your day you can hit the Juul. But with a cigarette you have to like go outside and like it's big to do. So I'd have like 2 cigarettes a day, and then I eventually worked it down to 0.
Look at you.
And then now we got locked down, and I was like, there's nothing to do but
got to jewel it up.
ruin my lungs.
Yeah. It's worse for you in some ways.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. It's like what I heard was that they were claiming it's a better alternative than cigarettes, but it is the same. And then it gives you a different kind of lung disease.
Well,
popcorn lung.
Yeah, popcorn lung is what I heard. But I don't know if that's like big tobacco companies like trying to create a campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's true anymore.
Who are we even?
Yeah.
You know, we're living in this society which fact-based. We put that in quotes.
Yeah.
America.
You know what I've been living my life this is how I've made it to the age of 33 is someone tells me something and I say, you know what, that's true. And then I just spout it off until someone goes, you know what, that's not true. And I go, you know what, that's true.
You're very impressionable.
Yeah, I have too much faith in people.
Yeah, gullible is what some people might call it. I am also very gullible. Like, I can be swayed. And it wasn't until I got into my 30s that I was like, no, they can be wrong. Like, I think that's why I had so many bad boyfriends. It's just
really?
because I was like, yeah, you seem wise. I'll do whatever you want. And then I dated a few dumb ones and I was like, no, I'm smart. I can do this.
I think it took me until I was 30 to like have faith in myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
And actually stand up was a part of like where I got that confidence. Because I was like, oh, I'm good at one thing. Maybe I can be good at another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got good at eating pussy.
That's what you chose. Okay. Yeah. God bless you. I mean, I'm not going to be mad at that statement. Yeah. That's great. Is that what you're known for?
Yeah.
Yeah, eating. All the gals know about it.
Bio.
I said I was having you over, and they were like, "Good for you." Oh, I get it now. I understand. How does one practice? Do you just have girls over and practice?
Yeah, I mean,
Did you watch a YouTube video?
I've had girlfriends. So
Are you a serial dater?
No, I mean, I think I would be if I had more confidence in myself. Like, here I am.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have to clear my throat so much.
He's crying in front of me. If I had more confidence.
I'm so glad there's Kleenex.
Yeah, I'm here for you. Okay. You need to take a nap, an emotional nap. We have a bed right here.
Yeah, a chaise lounge for me to do therapy on.
A fainting couch. Yeah. Oh. Poor Wilfred.
But I think I just like didn't. I don't know. I end up dating people that I'm not like that into a lot.
Oh.
And I think it's like my brain is like and my heart have a message, and then my dick is like, we don't need to listen to it. We don't need all of those barriers to have sex. Just fuck anything that's around. And so, you're trying to figure out, like, I'm trying to be bipartisan.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just a fiscal conservative.
But, so I can't, right now I'm like, okay, let's just only try to, like, go on a first date with someone you would really foresee something, a future with. But I don't know. It's sometimes, you get horny and that's it.
See, that seems like so scary to me because you don't drink to go on a first date without drinking.
Yeah.
That seems like a nightmare.
And it's fine because, like, as we're so used to, like, getting people to like us, like, off the bat.
Yeah.
It's the keeping them liking us that's the hard part. But yeah, it's fine out the gate, especially if like if she's drinking, it's like the conversation is nice and easy because like yeah.
Sounds.
And so was the bedding.
Jesus Christ, Wilfred.
I don't think I've ever smashed on the first date.
No, I only smash on the first date.
Well, you have. Feel like the woman has more agency as to decide whether or not you guys are having sex.
Well, yes, I think that shouldn't be the case.
Well, that it shouldn't be the case.
It should be the case.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But I'm because if I don't really, I think I've went on like a handful of dates from like people I didn't know very well. So like if I was going on a date with you, I already knew you, and I already knew.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the formality.
Did you never had to do
sleep with you.
So you never had to do the apps?
I did the apps. Like I went on 1 or 2 dates on the apps, and the guys, one was lovely but kind of like broy. And then the other guy did not look like his pictures at all.
Oh.
Yeah. He was a bigger man.
Oh. In all facets?
I didn't find out. Those were probably the only 2 that I didn't sleep with on the first date. Although the one that was fine tried. And I was still like,
yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, but that's been most of my dating life is the apps.
The apps?
Because like even I had a girlfriend that we were together for like 3.5 years. We had like talked about being married and everything. And we met on OkCupid.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
I mean, it ended, as ugly as
was she in
else.
Seattle?
Yeah, it was in Seattle.
How did it end ugly?
Well, I mean, it didn't end ugly. We were living together. We like had a dog together. It was just like it's hard to untangle that when your life is like that entwined. It's hard to like separate. So it took like it was kind of like 6 months of like being together and just like feeling sad and lonely in bed together, and then eventually we're like, yeah, we need to stop this. Yeah.
Was she mad about it? Or were you mad about it?
It was just like we realized like this, we love each other. We just can't continue. A part of why we broke up was because I wanted to leave Seattle to pursue comedy, and she was like, I don't want to do that. And so like that, and I remember that happening in like July, and we didn't break up till December. And so like I remember just going on walks. Like, those walks where you're like, I just need to reconsider everything in my life, and see if like this is even worth pursuing. If the thing that I love the most and that makes me me, like this art form is who I want to be. Yeah. And then so I just walked miles and miles for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's why you're so skinny.
And then, eventually we broke up. And I remember this one time she texted me because after we'd broken up and after I'd moved out, she texted me a screenshot of my Bumble profile, I think. And I was like, and I was just trying to be friendly and nice. I was like, oh, that sounds like a guy you should swipe right on. And she was not happy about me being cavalier.
Oh no.
Yeah, she got angry, and it got to the point where I was like, we aren't in a relationship anymore. There's no reason for us to fight. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop talking.
You said that to her?
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna stop responding.
Yeah. And that probably upset her even more.
Yeah.
So she clearly wasn't over it.
Yeah, I mean, neither was I at the time, but I don't process things. I don't process loss in a way that like really makes sense. I just try to distract myself from the loss.
Oh, thank God you're not a drinker.
Yeah, right.
Because that's a good way to get lost. Because that's what I did. My healing method after a long breakup was I worked in restaurants and you could drink for free, and I just had 2 to 3 crazy fucking years.
Really?
Yeah, and half of that I was in a relationship that was a bad relationship.
Yeah, but you were just trying to escape.
Yeah, and I was young and I was dating an older guy. He was like 6 or 7 years older than me, and it fed each other, and then he would get mad at me for drinking, and I would drink because I was in trouble, and it was just like this constant.
How old were you at the time?
I was 24.
Okay.
23, 24, 25. Those 3 years were my and then 26, I decided I wanted to do stand-up, and then 27 is when I started.
Yeah.
The day before my 27th birthday.
Oh, so this was all while you were in like grad school?
I was in grad school 22, 23. Yeah.
Okay.
And then just being in New York, it's so easy just to.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere.
Yeah, you can be as drunk as you want and then just take the train home.
Yeah. Yeah. So you didn't do any of that in New York?
No, not in New York. I've started drinking again recently, actually. Just doing.
What are you drinking? Smirnoff Ice? You're so small.
No, come on. Even easier than that.
What?
White Claws, baby. I'm a Brooklyn girl.
And isn't she pretty?
But I started because I've been doing these Zoom shows with Eastville Comedy Club.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every Monday, and it's just a hang. It's me, Matt Wayne, Pat Schroeder, TJ, and the bouncer at Eastville. It's like just a fun hang. And
that does sound fun.
And there's everyone else is drinking and everyone's like smoking weed. And then I was like, you know what? There's no consequences during this quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get drunk with you guys next week. And then I got drunk with them. And it was like kind of a skeptical. I even like took off my shirt.
Like you took off your shirt?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Because Pat was like, I have like a tattoo up here that I like came up, and Pat was like, come on, show us. And I was like, who cares? I just took off my shirt and finished the show with my shirt off.
Beautiful. What's the tattoo?
It was just I think
take off your shirt.
It's a Star Wars tattoo, and I have like
Jesus.
I don't care about Star Wars at all, but
you just thought it was funny?
I just thought it was funny to get.
Okay. Yeah. What
and
is it? Is it a stormtrooper?
No, it's a snow speeder. Those are the ones that like wrap the cable around the Atats and then tip them up. Well, I have a tattoo of the harbor crane. Which is, I'll just show it to you.
Please keep your shirt on. Oh, I see.
Yeah, the harbor cranes are what the like Atats were based off of.
Oh.
And then I just figured I'd make it a little bit more fun than just a harbor crane.
Where did this idea come from?
This was like when I was living in Chicago, and I was like, so I like still loved Seattle because I was like, oh, that's my home, and I hate Chicago. So like, I love this other city. So I was like, I wanted to get a Seattle tattoo.
Yeah.
And that's what that was for.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't drink at all in Chicago?
No, that's kind of like when I stopped.
Okay.
I remember having one beer while watching an episode of The Office, and just being like, oh, yeah, that's the last beer I need to have. And that was that.
Really? So what? Wow. What, did it just seem sad?
It just felt like I didn't need it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I can have a good time without this stuff.
How old were you then?
24.
24.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other things that was like the first thing that I was like, probably like adult decision that I made.
Yeah.
That was the right decision.
Yeah.
Everything else is slow to come.
Yeah. No, you also decided to eat pussy, and that is an adult
that's
decision.
Right. The most nutritious part of the day.
Oh, God damn it. I hate that. Oh, boy. I just saw this video. It was on this blog that I read, Jezebel. And it was like, we have some questions.
You read Jezebel?
I read Jezebel, yeah.
I stopped like a long time ago.
Okay.
It just became, it just felt like I was hearing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. I only go on it when I'm bored.
Okay.
It's definitely not my source for news, but I also don't like how hard they go after Taylor Swift.
Oh,
they hate her.
Why?
I know. Exactly. They go after her, and it drives me crazy. I think it's so shitty of them.
Yeah.
And well, that's how I feel about Jezebel. And but it was this video that I saw. It was 4 men, very ripped, no shirt, 6-pack, beautiful men. And they put whipped cream on a peach, and then
I just saw that video because Ari Finley posted it.
I was like, oh, who is this for, and why do I love it? Like, I couldn't wrap my head that it was like, oh, it's eating pussy.
Oh, I didn't even think about that until you just started telling this right now.
Yeah, it's them eating pussy.
Is that what a peach covered in whipped cream is supposed to?
I guess. But like, if you look, like, I think it's like the third guy there. I was like, oh, there was so much lip and tongue situation. I was like, that's what it is. Yeah. Okay, I see it now. Anyway, you should take notes for that. Better your game.
See, does that like seeing a guy eat a peach like that? Is that like for women, is that, do you get like whenever I see a girl eat a banana, I'm not as like perverted or whatever.
Did that banana drink? Is that
Yeah,
banana
yeah.
able
Why
to sustain that the whole time?
How's that banana staying up?
Oh, that banana's impressive.
Yeah. But it doesn't, I don't get like hot and heavy because a girl's eating banana, or even like, I don't know, a cucumber or whatever the fuck.
Well, I mean, it didn't like drive me wild. It was more like, I can't believe this exists. Like it made me blush. It didn't turn me on. It made me blush. But like, I'm sure if I watched that like 3 or 4 times and then got an imagination about it, like it might.
Yeah. If you're already in the mood and then that came up.
Maybe. And it's probably also for women who have boyfriends who don't do that. And so they see that and they're like, oh, man, that's a man right there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just trying to switch the narrative. Real men eat pussy, you know?
Yeah. That's that's what I say. Real men eat pussy and the dicks don't work sometimes.
That's the name of the episode. Real men eat pussy and the dick don't work sometimes.
That's a long time.
Yeah, well, I think our people will love it. We don't have a lot of drinking stories here on this one, but
I will say the last time that I like got drunk, this was the last time I've thrown up, and that was it was on my 21st birthday.
Aw.
Yeah, I don't know. I need something's wrong with my throat.
Do you want more water? You can have some of my water. Well, that's
no,
not
it's
very
just
COVID friendly, but
no, I'm okay. But it's just that so I was 21 the night before. My birthday's on the August 29th. On the 28th, I went to I went out with two friends that were already 21. And we went to a bar at midnight. Got
so fun.
Got drunk, and then like smoked weed, and then I remember at the very end of the night, my friend Hollis was like, I was like, I either need to throw up or go to bed right now. And she's like, well, which one do you want to do? And I was like, I'm going to go to bed. And I went to sleep. Of course, woke up with a worse hangover, right? The next day, actually, there was a birthday party being thrown for me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Which was 4 blocks from where I lived. I walked over there, and it was for me and my friend Zach. His birthday was a couple days before mine. I was there for I had one beer, was there for half an hour, and I was like, I feel sick. And I Irish exited my own birthday party.
Oh my goodness.
Walked home, barfed in the bushes of my house. And I was like, and that was the last time I've thrown up. I
Ever?
left. Yeah.
Or from alcohol?
Ever.
Ever?
I mean, I don't know. We can do it today if you want me to.
Give me your mouth.
But since then, I haven't thrown up.
Okay.
At all.
That's crazy. Not even food poisoning.
Not
Nothing.
even food poisoning. No, it all comes out the other end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about peaches and cream. So sorry.
I don't know what that means, but it was great.
It was silly. Half of my shit doesn't make sense, but I say it so fun.
But you say it in a fun way.
Yeah. Woo! That's 30 minutes of my hour.
Yeah. Yeah, genocide, right?
Yeah. Oh, COVID's killing people. Woo! That's impressive that you haven't thrown up from anything. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, but I threw up there are a few times where I would get drunk and throw up quite a bit. I remember there's this one time I had a crush on this girl. I had a crush on her for 2 years.
Oh,
and
that sounds like you.
Yeah, that's very much how I do things. I just have a crush on a girl, and then I barf in her bathroom, and we never do anything.
Boy, give me the full story of this one, please.
She had asked me so she was 2 years older than me. So when I was a sophomore in high school, she asked me to her prom.
Aww.
And I never had the balls to ask her out ever. And then senior year came around, and I didn't know. I went to an all boys school for high school, so I didn't know any girls. So I was like, I guess I'll ask Jamie because I don't know anyone. She's in college. She had a boyfriend too at the time, but she went to prom with me. And then they had broken up, and then at some point, our brothers were close friends, and so we were all hanging out at her place, and I just got I don't know how I got so drunk. I mean, I guess I was a kid. That's how you get so drunk.
Yeah,
at
you
the
drink
time.
whatever's in front of you.
I got real drunk and I like barfed in her bathroom, and like I remember her like coming in to check on me as I was barfing, and like just like tears going down my face because it's one of the, you know, I'm like an ugly crier and definitely an ugly barfer. I don't puke. Like
You're not a dainty
TV.
barf.
yeah. I was making a mess.
Oh no.
And she like walked in, and I was like, oh, I can't believe she like saw that sight, me like being like bright red, barf like all over my mouth, and then like crying.
Yeah.
and somehow like she didn't stop wanting to hang out with me. But still, I never asked her out, and then she like got another boyfriend because I was just a bitch the whole time.
She saw me puke. She's never gonna want to kiss me.
Yeah.
You never kissed her, nothing?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to prom together?
We did go to prom together.
Did you party after prom?
No. For my prom, maybe I don't know if I partied together after her prom, but for my prom, I didn't. I remember when I put the corsage on her wrist.
Oh no.
I was so my hand was shaking, and her whole family was just watching me shake in front of her. I looked like an old man trying to stand up for the first time.
God. Get him out of the wheelchair. We're going to dance.
Yeah. I was going to dance to my daughter at the wedding. Like there should have been a round of applause for me getting the corsage on her hand.
Oh, Wilfred. That's so cute.
Yeah. And you know, since then haven't learned how to talk to ladies. So
No.
still the same. Yeah.
Are you dating anyone right now?
No.
No, yeah. Well, that makes sense. It's COVID.
Yeah. I was seeing someone at the beginning of this for a little bit. But,
Oh, yeah?
I mean, you know, things don't work out.
Yeah.
It's hard to date someone. There's a part of me that thinks like dating a comic is probably the way to go. 'Cause
Was that person a comic?
No.
No.
But it feels hard to date someone because like, and it sounds like boastful, but like my life is pretty fucking great in terms of like I'm you know, work sucks and everything, but in the evenings I'm doing what I love, and I'm around people that also are doing what I love, and they're like the funniest people in the world.
Yeah.
Now, like that's who I get to hang out with, and
Yeah.
they and we're all like comics are very like open and like vulnerable with each other out the gate. Like conversation gets to a very deep, like fun level
Yes.
pretty quickly. And it's hard to get to that on a first date
Yes.
with a person. And it's also hard to imagine like a lot of these people that I go on dates with to be able to hang around comics, like, because I want to spend most of my time around my good friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I find someone that's going to fold in?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that requirement alone is hard to,
Yeah.
it cuts off a lot of ladies in my life.
It's funny, like starting comedy later, it made me realize how much I was already like a comic person. Like I was already a comedian. Like I had the mindset for it.
How old were you when you started?
26, 27.
Yeah, okay.
But it was already like, I was already an open book. I had no problem telling everybody about my life. I was always trying to find the silly, you know, and also the peacekeeper, and, you know, it's all these things that make a good comedian.
Yeah, you like break tension and everything,
I like, people liked me just because I'm fun and easygoing. You know, it's like this very, like, to be a comedian, you need to have all of that innately. And
of course, there are monsters that are that roam amongst us as well.
Yes, but they're very good writers.
Yes. But for the most part, a lot of the people that I've met in New York comedy in particular, I will not say this for Seattle comedy at all, but New York comedy, I feel like I've met a lot of people that are just great people and like open and like good at breaking tension, creating tension with the vulnerability, and then breaking tension. You know, it's just like conversation's great.
It's great. And it was like when I started comedy to where I am now, like I dated a few different types of guys. I was all over the map. And the last serious guy before I dated Steve, who is a comedian, I started doing comedy more seriously. I started getting more successful. And so he saw that progression, and he just didn't have any kind of drive, you know, and that's hard to be with, because you also have to have that determination to get better and have a goal. And he didn't have that.
Was he a comic too?
No, he was just he was a chef.
Okay. I've found that is hard, because that's where me and my ex broke up. Was that, and it's more of like, this happens more outside of New York City, where people are rushing to comfort. Like, how do I buy a house and whatever, and all these other things, where here it's like people are just like trying to figure out how to, like, we all understand that, like, there's a lot of struggle that comes with this thing, and like, and you got to be poor to really make it work, or whatever, you know. It's kind of a part of this. And I just felt so, like, that's what broke it off with me and my ex, was like, her family all started there. She's from like Santa Barbara.
Wow.
And they're moving, they're slowly all moving to Seattle. So like, she was just, her life was getting more and more comfortable. Yeah. And I was like, this isn't what the life that I want to live. Yeah. So I went to the most uncomfortable city in the world.
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
But I think it's working out. Yeah. Because you seem happy. Yeah. I've only known you in New York. I didn't know old Wilfred. Yeah. But you seem to be doing a bunch of festivals, and your comedy's doing well. And
the best year of my career, for sure. Or like, you know, up until COVID hit.
I know, right?
But even with COVID, like, things are still going way better than they were in Seattle. Yeah. And so it's like best year of my career, and like, I'm just like around people, and I'm like, also I love comics, the people that I have in my life. So it's like, you know, just like when we were texting to book this, like, it was just like so fun to text you, and just like make fun of each other, because we speak the same language. You know, we make fun of each other, and it's how we show that we care.
Yeah, I think at Big Sky, I think you told me I had you're like, you probably got a fat pussy or something like that. And it was like, I knew like 6 women who would be totally offended that you said that. And I was just like, I could hear Wilfred say pussy for the rest of my life. It's so funny. And yes, I do. I have a very fat pussy.
Very voluptuous.
Very peachy.
Yeah. The rest of your body,
it's pretty fat,
very
as well.
petite. But
this is a man who's trying to get laid by a lady who listens to this podcast. I am not petite, but God bless you.
Yeah, but the pussy is a linebacker.
So funny. Oh my God. Well, I mean, do you have anything else you want to add? This has been fun.
I don't know. Do I have to say? Do you usually end with closing statements?
Yeah, that's how I do it.
Like a Jerry Springer?
Like I said, I'm not a good interviewer. I'm like, let's just talk, and then
you're a good conversationalist, though, and that's kind of what matters.
Yeah, but the beginning and end, it gets a little clunky. It's a little like, all right, well, we got 45.
Is that how long episodes are?
Yeah, I do. It varies.
Because you have multiple podcasts, right?
I have 2. Yeah, I have Beasts, which we keep short. It's like 30 to 35 minutes. And then we have...
Beasts is a sports story.
Yeah. Did you play sports?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you play?
I was captain of my middle school basketball team. That's how you say that sentence. Yeah.
Anything in high school?
Yeah, I ran track and cross country and came in last on my team every single time. Up until senior year, came in last. I just was not good at it.
Well, it still counts. We'll have you on.
Yeah, okay.
If you can spare a half hour for me to yell at you about how bad you are at sports.
Yeah. We'll see if my schedule opens up.
Fuck you. Oh, well, Wilfred, where can people find you?
Just at Wilfred Padua on everything. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok even.
Oh, yeah. You're doing pretty good on TikTok, right?
I know. It's sad.
I know. I saw a comic was bragging that they were big on TikTok. And I was like, oh, no. That can't be good, right?
I mean, it's just like, what does it matter? Yeah. You don't know if this is even going to last. And
is it even going to bring people out to your shows?
No, because there's no way to advertise on TikTok. Because you just post a video. So I guess I can post a video and be like, I'm coming to San Diego or wherever. I'm going.
I see.
But like, there's more engagement opportunities through Instagram,
Yeah.
and
okay.
I have like a less than 1/10 of the following that I have on on TikTok. So.
I think this episode is gonna blow up once
yeah.
people find out how good you are at eating pussy.
Yeah.
It's just gonna.
Yeah, you better DM me, ladies,
Yep.
'cause
Get at this Wilfred.
those DMs are gonna be gushing.
God damn it. Oh, we're gonna end.
Yeah, I don't
Gushing? What the fuck is wrong with you?